So, The Dark Knight Rises has been out for about almost a week now, and pretty much nearly everyone has kind of seen it. You know, either people love it, like it, or even think it's even like awesome, either better than the second one or not as good as the second one, it's not as good as the Avengers or beats the Avengers, yada yada yada. But without doing that kind of video, or basically just doing a sort of discussion of the whole sort of film, you know, kind of like with spoilers and all, I don't think that's me. What I'm going to talk about is what's next for The Dark Knight, what's next for the Batman films, like in the near future. So that's what I'm going to talk about, and I only see really 3 possibilities. Now, I will warn you, there's going to be quite a lot of spoilers, probably in the first thing I'm going to say, and probably a couple in the second or third after that. So, if you've not seen The Dark Knight, don't watch the video, go and see The Dark Knight, watch, and then watch this. So, without any further ado, let's get cracking. Now, the first one is actually makes kind of more of an obvious one, is continue where the film left off. Basically, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character John Blake discovering the Batcave, and now that he's going to become Batman, because there's a couple of things. One, obviously Bruce Wayne is still alive. 2, he gave this sort of mantle to Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he trusts him, and he kind of hinted it out the whole film. Also, the bat signal is prepared, like that's a brand new bat signal where Gordon's just going through his papers and whatnot. So it makes it ideal for Joseph Gordon-Levitt to continue on as Batman, not as the Dark Knight, but just as sort of Batman. And this can spawn off to a couple of trilogies. What makes this could happen though is a very interesting one indeed. Firstly, the Wayne Manor is now an orphanage home, right? Which means we could see Dick Grayson come into play, right? And we could probably have a sort of teenage Dick Grayson, like his fam, and I think that could work, and he could stumble across the Batcave, because you know there is a secret way to get into the Batcave, and maybe he might stumble across it and there go becoming like Robin or maybe Nightwing. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt should reprise his role for maybe not just 1 but maybe 2 films. Third film is quite pushy. But also, because Christopher Nolan is coming back to kind of like produce like the next sort of Batman film, so it would kind of make a bit of sense for him to do that. There is only one problem though. Firstly, if they're going to bring back the Joker, they'll need to find someone else to play the Joker and not Heath Ledger. And this will have to be a different Joker because no one can top Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight. Other thing is though, some of like the big characters were kind of like killed off, like Two-Face and Bane, and also Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul. Oh yeah, that's kind of a spoiler for The Dark Knight Rises at the end. You'll probably get my drift. So it would be quite hard in a way to do so. And again, this has also come to the point of this is basically affecting what Christopher Nolan did. But also, there is actually a good reason. Gotham is completely kind of like trashed and whatnot through the events of Dark Knight Rises. So it would make sense for like a new director to take, you know, hold of Nolan's sort of work, because Gotham will be put in a different direction. The second one is kind of more following of the reboot, but also more like what Marvel did with the Avengers, but maybe just a little bit better. Mainly, right, we should have Batman as Batman, no origin story whatsoever, because we don't need another origin story. That's what probably suffers from the Amazing Spider-Man, because they're retelling the origins of Spider-Man. We know how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man. But I think they shouldn't really worry about telling the origins of Batman. But I also think they should not worry about putting villains that maybe Batman's already faced. For instance, like let's say he's already faced the Joker, or he's already faced Two-Face, Bane, Catwoman, whatsoever. They shouldn't have to be like, oh, this is a new enemy that's coming to my town, I better sort of stop him. It should be like, I need to stop this guy again, kind of thing. And also, not also with villains, but also have like he's got like companions around. So maybe he's already got a Robin, and I think that would be really cool. And also maybe he has a couple of friends from like sort of past, like maybe Nightwing, Batgirl, because we've not really seen Nightwing or Batgirl. We've seen Batgirl and Batman and Robin, but we want to see a proper Batgirl, right? And what would be quite interesting, like maybe after the first one, is you could have sort of spin-off sort of films, like I know, like a very own Batwing film, Batgirl film, even maybe a Catwoman film, but they all kind of like hint towards maybe a bigger story, like sort of bring like continuity into the film, like what they're doing with the Avengers and sort of like after it. I think that could work and it would be pretty interesting, and obviously either the third or second film can lead up to a bigger story. There is one slight problem. They're going to have to find a new Batman and also a new Bruce Wayne, like, to play this man, because you need someone that can play Bruce Wayne and Batman. And again, this will take Batman in a completely different direction, and maybe fans will not like it because they'll probably think it doesn't beat Nolan sort of Dark Knight trilogy. So that is a bit risky, but I think it could work. The third one is actually quite the riskiest of them all. Is how about we just leave Batman alone for quite a long time? I mean, let's be honest though, right? Ever since comic books have been turned into movies, right, we've had 5 Superman films, with the 6th one coming out next year, and then we've had like 7, technically 7 live action feature films of Batman, and we've only had 1 Green Lantern film. So why not just not focus more on Batman and focus on other characters? Like, I don't know, maybe a Wonder Woman film that wouldn't suck, but also give what the fans what they want. They want a Flash movie. I would like to see a Flash movie. Flash is kind of technically my favourite character of the DC universe. Like, I love Batman, but I've got a soft spot for the Flash, and I think it could work very well. And again, don't tell origins stories because we don't need them. Like, just tell maybe just a wee glimpse of it, like, or like through the film, like how he became the Flash. It only has to be like Quickly One or Wonder Woman or whatever they decide to choose. And also maybe try and build and try focus on this Justice League film that one of us been trying to make for years, maybe even decades. Those are the 3 things I think that could be the next for Batman. But which one do you actually like? Do you like the first, the second, the third thought? Or do you think, nah, scrap all of that and just sort of make another Batman film just for the sake of it? Because studios have done that, and that resulted in quite a shitty series.